What happens when the WNBA's most jealous player faces the consequences of her actions? A'ja Wilson spent months criticizing Caitlin Clark's outstanding rookie and sophomore seasons, insisting she deserved the Nike sneaker more than Clark and downplaying every accomplishment Clark made. While Caitlin Clark prepares for Team USA camp alongside rising stars such as Aaliyah Boston and Paige Bueckers, Wilson remains on the sidelines. The athlete who believes she could bring down the biggest celebrity in women's basketball has learnt that targeting the sport's face has terrible implications. She was booted out of Team USA. Before we go into it, let me know in the comments if you believe Team USA made the correct move by letting go of A'ja Wilson. USA Basketball recently awarded Caitlin Clark the keys to the future of women's basketball. Her invitation to the prestigious Duke training camp is more than just a roster place. It is a formal ceremony to usher in the next era of Team USA domination. When you receive the call to join Team USA, you are no longer just being evaluated. You're being anointed. Duke's roster reads like a fantasy draft of basketball's biggest stars. Paige Bueckers adds a championship experience from college. Aaliyah Boston comes off a great WNBA season with the Indiana Fever, demonstrating her ability to play at the highest level alongside Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese brings her rebounding skills and competitive spirit. Juju Watkins symbolizes the next wave of college talent. But here's what makes this camp unique. Every one of these players matches Caitlin Clark's specific skill set wonderfully. Sue Bird's leading involvement in this program reveals all about where USA Basketball is headed. They did not bring Sue back to uphold the old guard traditions. They invited her in to help bridge the gap between what Team USA was and what it needs to be. Bird knows basketball's tempo and space better than virtually anybody else. She realizes that the Caitlin Clark method is more than merely effective. It represents a future of international competition. USA Basketball completely revamped their offensive scheme to emphasize speed and spacing. Gone are the days of grinding out possessions in the half court. The new Team USA wants to up the tempo, create open three-point shots, and let their most dynamic playmaker to lead the offense. That playmaker is Caitlin Clark. Every drill at Duke emphasizes transition basketball, ball movement, and establishing advantages through pace. Clark has spent 2 years honing these skills in the WNBA. Behind closed doors, coaches are already planning their 2026 World Cup rotation, with Clark as the key floor general. They are not considering whether she can take the burden. They are considering how to optimize her effect on the international scene. The conversations aren't about whether Clark will make the team anymore. They are about how many minutes she will play and which lineups will best suit her skill set. This period provides Clark with opportunities that most Team USA rookies do not get. It was time to establish genuine chemistry with her overseas counterparts. 2 full years before the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles, there will be hundreds of practices, many exhibition games, and plenty of opportunities to develop the trust that wins gold medals. Clark will not learn the system on the fly. She'll be running it by the time the tournament starts. Basketball insiders expect Clark to entirely circumvent the typical senior hierarchy. Typically, newbies to Team USA spend their first cycle learning on the bench. Not Clark. Her combination of abilities, leadership capability, and marketability makes her too precious to waste on the sidelines. She will play meaningful minutes right away, and depending on how quickly she adjusts to the international game, she may even be given a starting role. The camp framework emphasizes evaluation and chemistry building over tough competition. Clark thrives in circumstances where basketball IQ and court vision are more important than sheer athleticism. She has spent 2 years demonstrating her ability to elevate teammates' play while making sound judgments under duress. Those same characteristics translate perfectly to international basketball. Team USA is undergoing a generational transformation, and Clark is at the core of it. The old guard relied heavily on defense and rebounding to achieve success. This new era will prevail through attacking ingenuity and speed. Clark not only fits this concept, but she fully embodies it. While Clark prepares to represent her country at the greatest level, A'ja Wilson remains at home, watching the sport flourish without her. The athlete who spent months criticizing Clark's accomplishments is now facing the reality of being left behind. Team USA advanced, and Wilson's nasty attitude earned her a front-row seat to observe from the sidelines. What happens when jealousy takes over a player's mind? They begin making decisions that harm their own careers. A'ja Wilson spent months waging planned attacks on Caitlin Clark, believing she could bring down the celebrity who was stealing hearts throughout America. Wilson's "I Have a Shoe" 2 campaign revealed her innermost concerns about Clark's Nike supremacy. While Clark was shattering attendance records and selling out venues, Wilson was feverishly attempting to remind people on social media about her sneaker agreement. The campaign seemed rushed and unpleasant. Fans could see straight through it. Wilson was not celebrating her own accomplishments. She was pleading for attention, which naturally went to Clark. The Las Vegas star publicly questioned every accomplishment Clark made during her debut season. Wilson discounted Clark's record-breaking assists. When Clark won Rookie of the Year, Wilson felt that the voting was flawed. When Clark's jersey became the best-selling WNBA product of all time, Wilson protested about improper marketing practices. She couldn't let Clark have a moment of recognition without interjecting herself into the conversation. Wilson further boldly claimed that she earned the same speaking fees as Clark at corporate occasions. Anyone who follows the business side of women's basketball found the comment ludicrous. Major corporations lined up to hire Clark at their events. Fortune 500 firms were paying a premium to have Clark speak at their conferences. Wilson's speaking schedule appeared to be far less hectic than Clark's. Did any corporation officially declare that it had hired A.J. Wilson for a large corporate event? Companies were bragging about booking Clark appearances left and right. Her what is delayed, but not denied. The social media effort became the most obvious attempt to ride Clark's coattails that basketball fans had ever seen. While Clark set television ratings records, Wilson posted cryptic warnings about her impending death. The timing wasn't coincidence. Each Wilson post appeared to correlate with important Clark news cycles. She was attempting to shift Clark's energy toward herself, but fans saw right through the strategy. Basketball expert became increasingly concerned as Wilson constantly insulted the person who was bringing unprecedented attention to women's basketball. Clark drew more followers to the sport with each game. Clark's popularity drove up television ratings. Merchandise sales were breaking records. Wilson was attacking the player who was raising the league's profile. Each jealous outburst widened the gap between Wilson's waning relevance and Clark's spectacular rise. While Clark was featured on national magazine covers, Wilson was tweeting about negative media attention. While Clark was signing multi-million-dollar endorsement deals, Wilson wondered why she wasn't getting the same possibilities. The contrast could not have been sharper. Wilson's assaults extended beyond professional envy to personal territory, claiming that Clark's Time magazine Athlete of the Year award was influenced by race rather than merit. The remark demonstrated Wilson's desperation to belittle Clark's accomplishments. She was eager to bring up difficult themes in basketball discussions merely to divert attention away from Clark's accomplishment. The veteran player seems unwilling to acknowledge the advancement of women's basketball without making it about herself. Wilson protested about unfair treatment after the league received additional sponsors as a result of Clark's fame. When Clark's game attendance reached all-time highs, Wilson questioned the authenticity of the crowd support. She was actively working against the sport's best interests out of sheer jealousy. Wilson's approach failed badly, tarnishing her reputation among fans who enjoyed seeing Clark play, sponsors who wanted to associate with positive athletes, and USA basketball administrators who were shaping the program's future. Every attack on Clark reflected negatively on Wilson's integrity and professionalism. She moved from being a respected veteran to being known as a player who couldn't cope with another athlete's success. This jealousy-fueled attitude laid the groundwork for USA basketball's decision to go forward without Wilson's destructive influence, instead opting to build around the player she had spent so much time attempting to undermine. Sometimes a single economic transaction shows the underlying power structure of an entire sport. When Nike gave Caitlin Clark an 8-year, $28 million contract, it struck shockwaves through the WNBA establishment, revealing how far Clark had advanced in marketability and worldwide appeal. Wilson's first reaction was not congrats on a fellow player signing a historic contract. Instead, she openly lamented her own delayed shoe debut. She sent passive-aggressive messages about patience and timing. Wilson could hardly hide her disappointment that a rookie had secured the type of deal she had been after for years. Her reaction conveyed everything about her thoughts. She viewed Clark's accomplishment as a personal attack rather than a victory for women's basketball. Clark's Kobe-branded trainers sold out in minutes at several locations. While Wilson's Nike campaign struggled to acquire momentum in the market, supporters waited online for Clark's shoe release. Sneaker resellers sold Clark sneakers for twice the retail price. Wilson's releases were little noticed on social media. The difference was severe and unmistakable. One player had captivated the imagination of basketball fans all across the world, while the other had failed to generate buzz despite years of efforts. The numbers revealed a significant disparity in their endorsement values. Clark demanded high rates for appearances, endorsements, and partnerships. Despite being fresh to professional basketball, Wilson had spent years building her resume, winning championships and receiving individual awards. However, her market value remained a fraction of Clark's. Corporate sponsors were ready to pay many times more to link their brands with Clark than with Wilson. Wilson's attempt to claim equal status exposed how far behind she was in terms of marketability. She wrote about her own sponsorship arrangements, attempting to match Clark's enthusiasm. She posted behind-the-scenes footage from her Nike shoots, aiming to inspire comparable interest. The more Wilson sought to compete with Clark's commercial success, the clearer it became that she was playing in a different level. Nike officials secretly refocused their whole women's basketball marketing campaign on Caitlin Clark's international appeal. The corporation knew they had found something special, a player that transcended basketball demographics. Clark drew fans who had never seen women's basketball before. She drew in fans who generally watched other sports. Nike revamped their women's division to capitalize on Clark's influence across several product lines and marketing campaigns. Clark's influence was recognized by corporate America in ways that A'ja Wilson had never seen. Major brands contacted Clark's representatives about cooperation options. Television networks competed for the rights to broadcast her games. Merchandise firms developed entire product lines around her brand. Wilson watched from the sidelines as the corporate sector greeted Clark with extraordinary enthusiasm. Forbes acknowledged Clark's financial effect by mentioning her in key stories on sports marketing and athlete endorsements. Financial publications analyzed Clark's economic impact on the WNBA and women's basketball in general. Clark served as a case study for business schools studying athlete branding and market penetration. Wilson's business profile was limited to basketball periodicals and regional coverage. Clark's Nike partnership demonstrated that he had progressed beyond basketball to become a worldwide sports hero capable of influencing consumer behavior and purchasing decisions. Clark product was prominently displayed in stores. Clark-branded products were in high demand on the international market. Corporate executives used Clark's name in quarterly earnings calls to explain revenue growth. Wilson found herself striving for relevance as the business world shifted its focus towards Clark. Sponsors who had earlier expressed interest in Wilson were shifting their monies to Clark partnerships. Wilson's anticipated media appearances were altering to meet Clark's schedule and interests. The marketplace had plainly stated which athlete represented the future of women's basketball. This market reality became impossible for USA Basketball to ignore while deciding on rosters. Organizations follow money and attention. Clark brought an enormous amount, but Wilson's jealousy had harmed her status with important decision-makers around the basketball world. A Wilson believed she could bring down Caitlin Clark and take a crown. However, envy has a tendency of ruining the individual who harbors it. Wilson's months-long onslaught backfired utterly. Her social media marketing fell flat. Her attempts to duplicate Clark's financial success revealed just how far behind she was. Wilson now watches from home as Clark prepares for Team USA camp with emerging players Aliyah Boston and Paige Beers. Clark continues to reach new heights, while Wilson suffers the consequences of attacking the face of women's basketball. Clark's generation is responsible for the World Cup in 2026 and the Olympics in 2028. Wilson will not be a part of the plot. Let me know in the comments if you believe Team USA made the right decision to release AIA Wilson. Like, subscribe, and enable all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you at the